The NASCAR Cup Series delivered yet another drama-packed race at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and while the headlines will read, Kyle Larson takes the win, the story goes much deeper into heartbreak, redemption, fierce rivalries, and a whole lot of what-ifs. From Ryan Blaney's crushing engine failure to Larson's triumphant charge from the mid-pack, this was one race that had everything. Let's start with Ryan Blaney, the man who was supposed to be the star of the day. Blaney looked unstoppable for most of the race. He led 124 of the 267 laps, dominating the early stages and walking away with the Stage 1 win. His No. 12 Team Penske Ford Mustang was dialed in perfectly, running quick laps and holding off the field with ease. Even after some hiccups on pit road cost him a bit of track position, Blaney was back in third, chasing down Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson. It was shaping up to be a classic three-car shootout heading into the final stage. And then disaster. A plume of white smoke erupted from the rear of the No. 12 Ford. Blaney's race came to a sudden and bitter end with just 60 laps to go. An engine failure. Catastrophic. No warning, no indicators. Just gone. He rolled down pit road and straight into the garage, finishing 36th out of 37 cars. Speaking after the race, Blaney said, "I didn't have any warning, it just laid over when I got back to wide open down the front, and that was all she wrote. It just stinks. We had a really fast Ford Mustang. It was going to be a heck of a battle the last 60 laps or so, but it just didn't really work out for us." And if this sounds familiar, that's because it is. It wasn't the first engine issue for Blaney this season. He had a similar failure at Phoenix, and just last weekend, he crashed out in Las Vegas. That's 3 DNFs in 6 races. For a driver who was expected to contend for a title this season, the frustration is building. But if there's any silver lining, it's that speed isn't the problem, reliability is. As Blaney said himself, the good news is we're bringing fast cars. That's all you can ask for. While Blaney was left watching from the sidelines, Kyle Larson was busy writing yet another chapter in what's quickly becoming a legendary career. Starting 14th after a lackluster qualifying session, Larson took a methodical approach early in the race. He didn't panic, didn't force moves, just stayed patient, working his way forward lap by lap. By the final stage, he was in the mix, battling hard with Bubba Wallace for the lead. NASCAR fans were treated to one of the most thrilling races of the 2025 Cup Series season, and right at the center of it all, 2 Hendrick Motorsports teammates, Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman, battling it out for glory under the Florida sun. Alex Bowman started the day with high hopes, rolling off from the pole position. The 48 Ally Chevrolet looked fast right from the drop of the green flag. Bowman was hoping to repeat the feat pulled off by Tyler Reddick last year, taking a race win from pole, something rarely done on a track as unpredictable as Homestead, and he looked like he just might do it. Bowman led 43 laps and racked up critical stage points along the way. His car was consistent, strong on the long runs, and he looked composed, in command. But as every NASCAR fan knows, Homestead has a way of turning everything on its head, especially when that high line becomes the difference between victory and second place. The final restart came with just over 50 laps remaining. Bowman was sitting 4th, but he made a bold move, 3 wide for the lead, slicing through the field and eventually tracking down Bubba Wallace to take the top spot. It was vintage Bowman, aggressive but precise, showing the kind of form we've only seen in flashes since his win on the Chicago street course last summer. But the drama wasn't over, because as Bowman was leading and trying to stretch his advantage, Kyle Larson was creeping closer. Bowman slapped the turn 4 exit hard enough to bend something in the right front, robbing him of grip and control. His lead disappeared in an instant. Larson, smelling blood, didn't need a second invitation. He darted past and never looked back. It was heartbreak for Bowman, who after the race said bluntly, "I guess I choked that one away." You could hear the disappointment in his voice. He wasn't making excuses. He knew the mistake cost him the race, but also knew the performance was a step forward. The team had speed, the car was strong, and the execution had been there for most of the day. It just wasn't meant to be. He now sits 3rd in the championship standings, trailing only his Hendrick teammates Larson and William Byron. It's a sign that the No. 48 team is finding its stride, and that Bowman is ready to fight for more than just stage points. As for Larson, the The win marked his 30th career Cup Series victory, a milestone that cements his legacy even further. And this one wasn't clean and easy. His car was banged up, with battle scars on both fenders and a big dent on the door from a pit road incident with Josh Berry. He scraped the wall multiple times trying to extract every ounce of speed out of the No. 5 car. Larson called it one of the coolest wins of his career, especially given the heartbreak he's faced at this track in the past and the tough weekend overall. Just a day before, he had the Xfinity race ripped away on the final restart. But instead of letting it shake him, he came back on Sunday more determined than ever. That's the mark of a champion. Bubba Wallace, who briefly led the race in that final stage, held on for a strong third-place finish and snagged the bonus point for fastest lap. Joe Gibbs Racing's Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin followed in 4th and 5th, keeping themselves well within reach in the playoff conversation. Chris Buescher, AJ Allmendinger, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Preece, and Justin Haley rounded out the top 10 in what was a clean and competitive race from start to finish. Only 2 cautions for cause. Christopher Bell spinning out early and Ryan Blaney's heartbreaking engine failure kept the race from going caution-free. Blaney, who led the most laps and looked like a contender throughout, saw his engine explode in a cloud of smoke. The second such failure this season for the Team Penske driver. It's a brutal run of luck for Blaney, who now has 3 DNFs in just 6 races. But as he said post-race, at least they're bringing fast cars. The performance is there. The reliability just needs to catch up. In many ways, this race told the story of where the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series is right now. A season where the gap between victory and disappointment is razor thin, where the high line can be a highway to victory or a detour into disaster, and where resilience is just as important as raw speed. Hendrick Motorsports now looks like the powerhouse team to beat, with all 3 of its drivers at the sharp end of the standings. Larson is reminding everyone why he's considered one of the most versatile drivers in the world, and Bowman is quietly building a case as a serious title threat. Meanwhile, names like Bubba Wallace, Briscoe, and Allmendinger are consistently knocking on the door. Larson himself weighed in on that debate last year, saying there's no way he can get into a sprint car and win the Knoxville Nationals. There's no way he can go win the Chili Bowl. There's no way he can go win a cup race at Bristol. That's what gives me ease and confidence that I know I'm better than him. Maybe not in an F1 car, but in everything else, I think I would beat him. With Homestead now in the rearview mirror, the Cup Series moves forward with more questions than answers. Can Blaney catch a break and get his season back on track? Can Bubba Wallace convert his strong runs into wins? And can anyone truly stop Kyle Larson when he's in form like this? The season is still young, but the drama is building, the rivalries are heating up, and the championship picture is beginning to take shape. One thing's for sure, if you're not watching NASCAR right now, you're missing out on some of the best racing anywhere in the world. So stay tuned, because the next chapter is just around the corner.